All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. They're doing their well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the members of the elect, the 04 elect, and the 1/3 to USA. Shalom. This is your brother Dawodah from GMS Detroit Camp, coming at you with another video through the spirit and power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Today I want to do a video going in on the latest bit of madness from the IUIC. Those will this video be edifying. Check this out.
Nation of Israel, we had no dealings. Like the lady like the woman in Samaria, she understood this history. Last one, Zechariah 11:14. Just showing you, what did she mean when she said, "You knowest, thou being a Jew, have no dealings with me being of what? Of Samaria or of the northern kingdom." Showing you, what did she mean when she said, "You knowest, thou being a Jew, have no dealings with me being of what? Of Samaria or of the northern kingdom."
The book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 14. Then I cut asunder mine own staff, my other staff.
Read.
Even bands.
Even what?
Even bands.
Read.
That I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel.
That I might break the brotherhood between who?
Between Judah and Israel.
And this woman of Samaria, she understood that to the T. Now, let's go back to John chapter 4. We're going to pick up at verse 10. She said, "How being thou a Jew have dealings with me?" So far, this is not a Gentile. We're showing you the history, and we're showing you this woman had to have been what? An Israelite. She was not of the other nations. All right? Samaria were Israelites. They were Israelites. If you never read the Bible, you don't know that. You don't know that. But in verse 10.
The book of St. John, chapter 4, verse 10. Jesus answered and said unto her, "If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water."
Now, we're not going to go too deep into this, but all he's saying, he was offering her what? Salvation. Now, when you jump down to verse 22, what do you say? Salvation is of the Jews. We're not going to read it, but he said that. So she had to have been in the lineage of the Israelites for him to give her that statement.
Right.
Because we get another example in Matthew 15. He didn't offer her the waters of the everlasting waters. He didn't do that. So from there, jump down to verse 12. Verse 12.
Verse 12. Art thou greater than our father
what?
Jacob? Art thou greater than our father Jacob?
Read.
Which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle.
Now, you better listen. She said, "Art thou greater than what? Our father Jacob." Showing you what? She was of the line of Israel. Now, there are some of you Israelites, some of you Christian scholars, that have a little understanding of the Bible. You say, well, what happened was they were taken out of the land, and the people were moved in the land, and they knew what was going on. So let's show you that history. I'm going to show you. No, this woman right here, she was of the line of Israel. Let's go. Go back to John 4 and verse 22, and it's going to be the last scripture. Showing you the woman at Samaria was an Israelite. Read that.
The book of St. John, chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what.
You what?
Ye worship, ye know not what.
Read.
We know what we worship. For salvation is of the Jews.
For what?
For salvation is of the Jews.
So he understood that salvation was coming to those of the nation of Israel. If it wasn't, he would not have wasted that much time edifying and teaching his sister.
What?
Remember, Christ is the same man that said, "Cast."
We're gonna stop these. We're gonna stop these two right there. That's pure madness. Yahushua was not teaching this woman. He didn't break not one thing down to her. All right? He didn't say, okay, this verse means this. This parable really means this right here. He didn't break nothing down to that heathen woman. Talking about he was edifying her. Do you even know what edify means? See, that's why the scripture says teaching things which they ought not. Scriptures also say whose mouths must be stopped. Eventually, Yahweh Shemel Shah is going to shut up the mouths of all false teachers and all false prophets. Right? These guys are clearly going off. The Heavenly Father didn't send these two. Scripture say, I've not commanded them, yet they ran. What are they running? Their mouths. All right? Lord ain't send these two. They just wing it. They just teach whatever the hell they want. And then they keep contradicting themselves. Let's finish it off, then we'll get some scriptures.
Not your pearls before swine.
Say that again.
For salvation is of the Jews.
So he understood that salvation was coming to those of the nation of Israel. If it wasn't, he would not have wasted that much time edifying and teaching his sister. Remember, Christ is...
I want to know what did he edify her on? What did he teach her? He told her salvation is only for Israel. He clearly, see, here's what you got to understand. The Lord was playing with her, all right? He, like the apostle says, you take him in the deep water and then you drown him spiritually. That's what he was doing. He was toying with her, you know? He kept cutting her with the scripts, you know, and with wisdom. You know, look, salvation is only for us. Ye worship ye know not what, all right? He said, then he proceeded to tell her, he said, you know what? Go and call your man. Go call your man here. Now, her man could have quite possibly been a Jake. But guess what? She wasn't. He told her, hey, look, go get your man. You know? Then I believe she proceeds to say she ain't got a man. And the Lord cut her again. He said, oh, thou sayest well. For thou hast have seven husbands, and the man that you're with, he ain't your man. In other words, you called her a hoe. See, the Lord was playing with her. All right? Now remember, the other harlot, that being what was her name? I believe it was Mary Magdalene. All right, now she was a harlot, but guess what? The Lord showed her mercy. She was out a whoring, right? The Lord showed her mercy, which ultimately she represents Israel, all right? But guess what? How come onto this woman that was out hoeing, you know? How come he didn't show her any mercy? Because she was not a Jake. All right? Let's go to it. St. John, the 4th chapter. John 4:1. Oh, no. The woman of Samaria. Even in the blue letter, it tells you she's of Samaria. She ain't an Israelite. Point blank, period. All right? When you go into the history, there were transplants that were put into that land. All right? I believe that account is found in the book of Kings. There cometh, John 4:7. There cometh the woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahushua saith unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were going away unto the city to buy meat. Now, it's like I was checking something. Verse 9. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? That's a separation right there. That's a separation. All right? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. So even she just identified herself as being a heathen. In other words, to put it in her vernacular, look, your people don't mess with us. All right? Why you asking me to draw water for you? You know your people don't mess with us. Your people don't mess with my people. Why? Because they're two separate nations. She said that out of her own mouth. How come he didn't speak on this? All right? Verse 10. Yahushua answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that said to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. Yeah, because that's the Lord. This is Yahushua, the second most powerful entity in existence. And he asked this woman for water. Now, if she knew that this is the Messiah right here, she would have did it. Here you go. You know, my Lord, Adonai, my Lord. That's how you say my Lord in Hebrew. All right? She would have gave it to him immediately. Verse 11. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? So she wasn't on no type of level. Yahushua, he was getting deep with her. He was bringing her into spiritual deep water And guess what? She can't swim. Verse 12. Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well? Jacob is not her forefather. All right, this is 2 Kings 17 and verse 6. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria. So like in the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes. Hopping down. So this is the Assyrian captivity, right? Okay. Hopping down. Now, what I'm skipping is the reason why we got taken down and put into captivity. Verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim and placed them, even the word them is italicized here, in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. You see? And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. You see? So there were transplants put within that land. You see? There were transplants put into that land. Okay? So that's why she said, thou being a Jew hast no dealings with the people of Samaria. Why? Because those people in Samaria, there were a lot of heathen there. Right? And this is the account going into that history. That's why she made that statement. So that's the background. That's why she made that distinction earlier. All right? It says, art thou greater, verse 12, John 4 and 12, art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well and drank thereof, himself and his children and his cattle? Yahushua answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water, meaning the literal water of the well, shall thirst again. That's true. You're going to get thirsty. Whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him, that's this knowledge, this truth, shall never thirst. Why? Because it gives you all the answers to every question that you have. It quenches your thirst for knowledge. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Yeah. That links up with St. John, 3 and 38? The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahushua saith unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. Lord was toying with her. She was a heathen. Right? The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua said unto her, Thou hast said well, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. And that sayest thou truly. Ooh. In other words, you called her a hoe. All right? Oh, man. Look at this. Look at these translations. It says, CSB, For you've had 5 husbands, and the man that you now have is not your husband. What you have said is true. He called her a hoe. NLT, for you have had 5 husbands, and you aren't even married to the man you're living with now. You certainly spoke the truth. You know? The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceived. It's a lot. Yeah, verse 19. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Yeah, she perceived that after he called her a hoe. She's like, oh, you knew I was a hoe? You know? She's a heathen. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yahushua saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. She was not of the nation of Israel. Ye worship ye know not what. You don't know who or what you're worshiping. We, the Israelites, know what we worship, for salvations of the Jews. That's plain. She's not of the Jews. She's not an Israelite. But the hour cometh and now is when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yeah. All right. It says, The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. The woman saith unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called the Anointed. When he is come, he will tell us all things. See, she wasn't on no level because she was a heathen. Yahushua said unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou, or why talkest thou with her? The woman then left her water pot and went her way into the city and said to the men, Come see a man which told me all things that ever I did. All he told her was that she was a hoe. Is not this the Anointed? Then they went out of the city and came on to him. All right. Then now it goes into something else. All right. So the point being that he was toying with her the entire time. She's not a Jake. Point blank, period. And he even told her salvation is of the Jews, not of the Samaritans. She was a heathen woman. All right. Notice he didn't teach her. He didn't break down the scriptures to her. He didn't, quote, edify her. All right. And if this woman was an Israelite, it would have said it. It would have said so plainly. All right, now here's what I was making reference to. It's actually within the book of Josephus. Josephus is not part of the scriptures. It's just a history book. All right. But first, here's an excerpt out of the Blue Letter. All right. It says, Cutha, the country of the Cuthians, of a nation who were brought by the king of Assyria to inhabit the territory of the kingdom of Israel after the people had been carried into captivity, right? Which we read that account out of the book of Kings, right? It says, after the people had been carried into captivity, they afterwards became one nation with those who were left of the old inhabitants, thus forming the Samaritan people, who in this account, or on this account, are called by the Chaldeans and the Talmudists. Nothing can be certainly stated as to the locality of this country, which Josephus places in Persia. Others seek it in Phoenicia because the Samaritans themselves professed a Sidonian origin. But the point being that what? They're a nation who were brought by the king of Assyria to inhabit the territory of the kingdom of Israel after the people had been carried into captivity. They're not Israelites. So out of the book of Josephus, it says how Shalmaneser was a king of Assyria. I believe there are different Shalmanesers, all right, like the first and so on and so forth. Took Samaria by force, and how he transplanted, the 10 tribes into Media and brought the nation of the Kuthians into their country. Right? Here's the excerpt. He transplanted. All right, let me try this again. He transplanted other nations. Looks like it says, but of Cutha, a place so called, for there is still a river of that name in Persia, into Samaria, and into the country of the Israelites. So the 10 tribes of the Israelites were removed out of Judea 947 years after their forefathers were come out of the land of Egypt and possessed themselves of the country. So the point being that what? There were transplants put within that land. All right? Transplants got put into that land. All right? Just backing up what the scriptures say. All right? And it's within the book of Josephus where it says that, they'll be buddy, and say, oh yeah, we one of y'all when Jake doing good, but when Jake's doing bad, they would distance themselves. All right, so that's all found within the book of Josephus. So if you want to know more, you can check it out. So with that, all praise, honors, and glories be to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, the blindness of my apostles and elders, peace, blessings to the elect. Shalom.